How you doing today, everybody? It's Watch Display here. Today I have a review of my Rolex Submariner 168000. Today I am wearing my Zenith Elite Captain Central Seconds. It's a palladium fume dial and technically an ultra thin. It's like 8.5 millimeters thick. Back to the star of the show, my Rolex Submariner. 5-digit, but kind of a 6-digit. It gets kind of tricky. So if you were to look in between the lugs, this would say 168000. If you were to look behind the case back, it would say 16800. What does that mean? The 16800 was a transitional Submariner. The 168000, which this one is, was the transitional Submariner that transitioned into having 904L stainless steel. So that extra 0 was actually put on by Rolex to signify the ones that already had 904L stainless steel. However, it is not mentioned anywhere in the archives, so it does get a little bit murky. This specific example has a gray-blue insert that's obviously been faded. It does have one small blemish here down by the 40, and you'll notice the 40 is what they call a flat 4, which is also more desirable. You will also see that this is the original Tritium dial, and it's hard to see in this video, but this Tritium has patina actually more of a custard color. It's looking lighter right now on the screen. It's actually much more custard versus it's more creamy right now in this video. Let's see if I can get a good shot for it of the dial up. There you go, there's a perfect shot. This is what you call a sponge dial. So if you see all those little black spots that look a little bit darker in color, this was originally a gloss dial. It is slowly with time, probably humidity and just putting the watch through normal wear and tear, is starting to transition to a matte dial. And that gives off this super cool looking sponge dial section. You can see the sponging actually started down here in this corner, down by the 20. And you can see that is almost nearly gone. That's almost completely matte down there. And then the rest of it's been slowly working as well. So one of these days this will be a fully matte dial, or it will turn tropical. We're not really sure what it's going to do. Depends on what type of elements and that it's been exposed to in its life. Obviously I was not a first owner of this watch, because this is actually a birth year watch to me. It has been polished before, but polished really well. You still have really nice thick lugs with chamfers. And I wear this watch. You'll see I got some little cracks. Not cracks, but little chips on the edge of the crystal down by the 40. Not worried about it. I was going to change it, but I decided let's just keep it. I'm going to wear it anyway, and I'm going to beat it up anyway. This is the original Custard Tritium Pearl. And it has the odor stamp clasp, which I like and I dislike. This is dirty, guys. Sorry, I haven't, this is like my daily beater that I wear every day pretty much, other than this Zenith that I recently got. Here's the diver's extension. You got multiple micro adjustments, so it makes it very nice. I usually just keep, like, for work, I got like a leather bag I carry with me, and since it doesn't technically have like an easy link, I just keep a little toothpick in my bag, so if I was to ever need to pop this and make it bigger or tighter depending on what the weather is, I can do so on pretty quickly. Like I said, it is a stamped clasp, so it's nothing really to write home about. I will say though, these bracelets are extremely comfortable. The modern bracelets are, you can't even compare. the modern bracelets to these. These are kind of changy, and for a long time I hated them, but for everyday wear you get this awesome direct pull down that you do not get with even the 5 digits that still had the solid center or solid end links. They kind of arc out, so you don't get this exact pull down, and most of the end links protrude past, the ones that have solid end links protrude past the ends of the lugs. And that's true for the modern 6-digit Submariner as well. So you actually get a beefier lug to lug, even though it's not really a true lug to lug. It's more of like a end link to end link. But that does wear differently. So an example of this would be like the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. They're not really true end links, but the case design expands a lot further out. So a 42 millimeter Audemars Piguet will wear closer to like a 44 or larger. And that's kind of what you get with the modern Rolex Submariner. If you take the time next time, just take a peek at it and how those lugs kind of protrude outwards on the modern Submariner. So you get a little bit better wear with the older examples. It's the nice thick beefy case and bezel. It's a really nice everyday wear watch that, for me, I wanted something vintage but not quite vintage, so not quite like a 1680 or a 1655, or wait, I can't remember the other one, the basically the one that's the red sub. You pay a ton of money for those and you can worry about water resistance or whatnot. I take this watch everywhere. I just recently, where was I at? I just recently was in Mexico with this watch. I wore this watch every single day. I wore it in the ocean. I wore it in the pool. I wore it out and about. It's kind of a low-key watch. I didn't have to worry about it being too loud. And it was just a great watch for everyday travel in a country that you probably wouldn't want to just walk around with a solid gold Rolex. So I didn't bring any of my gold Rolexes on that trip. I just basically popped them off at the bank, and so they'd be secure while I was gone, and then wore this bad boy there. But you get the idea. It's an excellent watch. I highly recommend it for those who can't wear the super case, which is the thicker beefy lugs, and obviously it'll have solid end links. That one wears more like a 42 in my opinion, even though it's a 40 millimeter. I would say this wears true to size, like a true 40 millimeter. A lot of people don't like putting Submariners on leather just because it's a diver and you're technically putting a diver on leather. I have no issue with that, and makes it even easier since you have drilled holes on the lugs, and it makes it even smaller when you wear it on a strap. But if you have any questions or want me to compare this to any other watch, feel free to message me, and follow me on Instagram at Watch Display, and feel free to subscribe and comment below.